Welcome to A Radiantly Healthy Life, the podcast where we explore natural health and wellness just for women. Here, we'll dive into a mix of mindfulness, homeopathy, herbal remedies, functional medicine, and those tried and true traditional methods. I'm Amy Whitbeck, your host and fellow traveler on this journey toward better health. As a natural health coach, I'm excited to share insights and tips I've learned not only through personal experience, but also from the amazing women I coach. So grab your favorite cup of tea or cozy drink, and let's chat as we walk this path to radiant health and happiness. Hi, welcome to A Radiantly Healthy Life podcast. My name is Amy, and I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're going to be talking about what should I eat? 7 simple tips for healthy eating. So let's get right into it. If you're dealing with a health issue, trying to lose weight, or wanting to live a healthier life, you may be wondering, what should I eat? There's a lot of advice out there, some good, some not so good. In this post, I'm going to help you cut through all the confusion and give you simple tips to make healthy eating easy and stress-free. Okay. So stop and think just for a minute about your health goals. If you haven't actually thought about this and gotten really specific, now is a great time to jot down a few notes. Do your goals include healing from adrenal fatigue, a thyroid condition, or other health issue? Or are you thinking of losing weight, getting sugar cravings under control, having more energy, getting good sleep, improving digestion, or just having beautifully glowing skin? Whatever your goals are, be sure to write it down. Now that you have your goals, what is one thing that you could do that could help you reach them? If eating better and improving your diet comes to mind, you're not alone. In fact, for most of us, changing our diet is the one thing that can make the biggest difference in our health and wellness. So what should you eat? There are a million diet plans out there promising that if you follow their formula, you'll lose weight, have more energy, and feel your best. The thing is, there's not one perfect diet for everyone. A lot depends on your activity level, food intolerances, gut health, budget, individual tastes, and other important factors. One thing that's true no matter which diet you choose is that the food you eat will have a huge impact on how you feel. It's clear that diets and diet food or diet products aren't the answer to long-lasting health. So you may be asking, what kind of food should we eat? Keep it simple and be sure to include whole foods like grass-fed meats, plenty of raw and cooked vegetables, some fruit with a focus on berries and lower sugar options, healthy carbs like sweet potatoes and squash, and if you can tolerate them, eggs, nuts, and fermented foods are great additions too. If this is different from how you eat now, don't worry. We all have places where we can improve, so start where you are and just go from there. If you feel a little overwhelmed, be sure to check out the tips below. I'll have them in the comments or the show notes. And my advice is to start with just one change at a time and move on from there. Before you know it, you'll be eating a diet full of healthy foods the majority of the time. Your taste and what you crave will be totally different, and you'll feel so much better. Okay, on to those tips. If you find yourself looking at diet plans and asking, what should I eat? These 7 tips will help you make that important transition from a less than ideal diet to eating nourishing whole foods. So the first tip is to be aware of your thoughts. The first thing you need to do when changing any pattern or habit is to become aware of your thoughts about the subject. Do you feel like you don't have enough time to eat healthy foods? Maybe you think you don't really like healthy food. Does the thought of meal planning, shopping, and cooking seem overwhelming? Take a minute and evaluate your thoughts about eating healthy and see what comes to mind. Once you become mindful, you can start to change any negative thoughts, which will have an effect on your whole health journey. The next tip is to add food. Don't restrict. I always think it's easier to add in healthy food before you start removing any. That way you feel less restricted. Are there healthy foods you already like? Start adding those to your meals. Do you like avocado, celery, or carrots? Great. Add them to your lunch or eat them as snacks. If those aren't your favorite, find a few that you enjoy and go ahead and include those. Another great way to add healthy food is to make sure you eat veggies at every meal and choose them for nighttime snacks. The next tip is to focus on your needs, not numbers. If you're someone who's tried dieting before, I know it's easy to go back to old habits like counting calories or carbs, sticking to tiny portion sizes, or making sure you have enough grams of certain food groups. But what if you tried something different? Counting calories, grams of protein, or being mindful of portion sizes, it's not a bad thing. But what if you stopped focusing on numbers and started focusing on nutrition? When you eat real whole food, your body will give you signals that you're full and no longer need to eat. And when you crave food, it happens to all of us sometimes, it'll be much easier to distinguish if it's because that's what your body needs or because you're stressed, overtired, or bored. So as you transition to a balanced whole food diet, start paying attention to those signals. You'll learn a lot about your eating habits, nutrition needs, and cravings. The next tip on our list is to start with the recipes you have. The thought of finding and trying all new recipes can be really overwhelming. So here's a tip. Find one new recipe and try that each week. That way it's one small step, not an overwhelming change all at once. For the rest of the week, experiment with a few of your normal recipes and give them a little makeover by adding veggies and using whole food ingredients. A few ideas would be to add veggies to a soup recipe, and you can even puree them if you want. Add a small amount of chopped liver to chili. You really can't taste it, and liver is a superfood. Have a huge salad. You can throw everything in there like meat, veggies, eggs, and any other thing that you like. Make vegetable-heavy dishes like stir fries. Pick a healthy oil if you're going to fry food. Avocado and coconut oil are decent choices. And use healthier sweeteners when possible. Those are just a few ideas of how to start tweaking your recipes. It might take a little trial and error, but you might be pleasantly surprised. Some of my family's favorite recipes have come from a little experimentation. Our next tip is to make it tasty. A lot of people think that healthy food is boring and bland, but simple doesn't have to be boring. Real food can be delicious and full of flavor. Using fresh herbs, seasonings, and other flavorful ingredients, along with a variety of foods, will ensure that eating will be a delicious and enjoyable experience. The next tip I have is to enjoy your favorites once in a while. Does the thought of a healthy diet scare you because you don't want to give up your favorite pizza, fast food, egg rolls, or ice cream? You don't have to. Many diets will eliminate these foods, but it really just makes you want it even more. Want to know a secret? Eating healthy doesn't mean that you have to have a perfect diet. That's just not realistic. And let's be honest, who wants to live the rest of their life never having your favorite food? An occasional indulgence is a great way to maintain a balanced view of healthy eating. Personally, I like to eat well 6 days a week and enjoy a nice treat on the 7th day. Others find it helpful to stick to an 80-20 rule, eating whole foods 80% of the time and choosing whatever else the other 20%. Choose whatever will work best for your needs and schedule, and don't be afraid to change it if you find that something else works better. So here's a few last thoughts on tips for healthy eating. Wading through the mountains of diet and nutrition information out there can be overwhelming. If you're thinking of changing your diet for whatever reason and wondering what the best foods are or what you should eat, my advice is to keep it simple. Increase healthy foods by adding veggies to your current recipes, choosing whole food options for snacks, and trying one new recipe a week. Don't forget to add plenty of fresh herbs and spices, and be sure to enjoy your favorite non-healthy food once in a while. Keep these 7 simple tips for healthy eating in mind, and you'll be well on your way to a healthy, happier you. Well, that's all for today. I hope I've given you a little more information and some helpful tips about how simple diet changes can benefit your overall health, lessen fatigue, and increase energy. If you'd like more information, please feel free to look in this episode's description or hop on over to my blog. See you next time. Thanks for listening today. Are you interested in diving deeper? Head over to aradiantlyhealthylife.com and be sure to sign up for my email list so you can stay up to date on what's new and gain access to exclusive tips, insights, and resources available only to my community. While you're there, feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And if you like this episode, consider sharing it with a friend. Every share helps us reach more people and spread the message of health and wellness. I'll be back next week. But in the meantime, remember, small steps really do make a big difference. See you next time.